Switzerland. How is it going? Woo! All right. At the introduction stated, I want to take some risks today. I'm going to do a live demo on stage, which, let's see if the demo gods are with us. All right, so we're going to talk about how I strongly believe that AI can redefine how we build products. And honestly, I'm really bullish on Switzerland. Top research, top engineering, largest number of patent holders. This is wild, and there's loads of capital. Why isn't this country the #1 startup nation in the world? I honestly think that AI might be changing that forever. But let's just take some risks. I want to come up with a new startup in the next 10 minutes. Let's do it. So, we are in Switzerland, and of course, we love to build robots, as we've seen already over there. So I want to do something with drones. We also love good food, so food delivery, and then autonomous flying. This is just some rough ideas, that your co-founders and you had over the coffee machine. We'll use this to generate a concept. So I want this to be startup concept about these topics. I'm going to need to pitch investors, right? So I want to create a slide deck. Slide deck to pitch investors. And what else do we need? We probably need a logo. So just from this same thing, I'm going to say, hey, I want startup logo. And then we also need an MVP, because of course we need to show our concept with a few customers to start validating ideas. So create an MVP for this product. All right. This MVP will be a mobile app, multi-screen, awesome. OK, what else do we need? We also going to want to just create user journey for a new user joining. And last but not least, I want to track project completion. So project management table to implement this app. OK? And I'll click run. And so now I'm getting all this concept flowing into this AI generator, which is going to be flowing into all these different other nodes. It's going to take a few minutes if the demo gods are with us. And then until we're done, I'll go back to the presentation. So I have the pleasure to lead AI at Miro. But before that, I was a founder with a crazy idea. And in 2017, when we started Uizard, no investor, no VC understood what AI was. It literally took us 6 months to raise our first small check. We ultimately raised money from top-tier investors, grew the product to 3 million users, and eventually got acquired by Miro last year. The good thing about being acquired by Miro was that I no longer had to explain to people how to pronounce a company name. I never ask me to name anything anymore. I'm done with this. Second reason why we were excited to join Miro is that the reason why we started this session by just building a startup concept in Miro is that I really want to turn Miro into the product that I will use to build my next company on. But how did we get there? AI tools are everywhere today. Over 40% of Indian adults say they use the AI tool daily. About 20% of Americans claim the same thing. But if you apply this to work, I think things are fundamentally broken still. Let's take an example of Julie. She's a technical co-founder. She just graduated from EPFL, and she loved to use ChatGPT for brainstorming and research. Her co-founder, Samir, is coming from a business and consultant background, and of course, he loved to use Microsoft software. So he preferred to use Microsoft Copilot to do his AI work. They both use their favorite tool to do their research, brainstorm ideas for their next company, and it's only when they converge into something like Google Slide that they finally share what each other have been working on. And what this means is that these two folks have basically been working in silos. So these two silos means that Julie and Samir aren't able to just see each other's work and collaborate until way downstream in the project. And we think this is broken. And then if you multiply this to all the employees that they are going to hire, the complexity of the collaboration graph becomes like unmanageable. And so in this world, how can you actually take advantage of AI if all of us are in like our own little siloed? So today, AI assistants are amazing, but they are built pretty much for solo user experiences. But great things happen when people collaborate. And so the question we've asked ourselves was, how do we build multiplayer AI that streamline collaboration and help people innovate together, not in silos? So one of the solutions that we've built is flows, which is how I started this presentation. So let's go back and see what flows have been able to create for us. Okay, cool. So some work happened, right? I'll move this around so we can see better. And then this as well. There we go. So you can see that we had this like keywords: drone, food delivery, autonomous flying. We generated a startup concept, Sky Eats, which is a better name than Uizard, right? We have different core technology concepts, market application, business models, differentiators. I can iterate on this. Then we have a logo that were generated for us. We have a pitch deck that we can actually start sharing with investors, get feedback, see what they think, and basically iterate from that. Let's see if it came up with some. It didn't ask for money yet, so this is a new slide for the fundraising. Then we also have a full prototype of our early concept. So it's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be like an MVP that you can then use to share customers, collect feedback, and move forward. And I can play these prototypes directly in there, interact with my 10 minutes old startup ID, and iterate from that. And then what else do we have? We've also been creating like this table to be able to start tracking, okay, if I want to build this app, this is all the different things I need to think about. How do we go about tracking this? What is not started? What is in progress? And then what's completed? So just in a few seconds, in a few minutes rather, we came from some rough ideas we had over beers to like concept we can actually start collecting feedback, get validation with early customers, and even pitch investors. So this is something we call flow. And so one of the big power of flow is that you can also select your own model. So just like we saw before with Julie and her co-founder, each of them has different preferences of what to use whenever they are working together. Well, with this solution I just showed you, you can actually select the models that you want to use at each step of the way. So for example here, I can say, you know what? I want to use Amazon Bedrock and Cloud because this is a model I believe in. My colleague might want to use GPT because this is what he believes. But all of us, that doesn't prevent us from working together. We can all collaborate in the same workspace and use AI as a collaboration enabler, not as a silo creator. So, going back to our main presentation, how can we take this even further? So we talk about the fact that you can use your own model, you can generate all these different formats in one place, and it's something that we think is awkward today. Prompting. Who loves prompting? It's pretty awkward, right? If you don't get the right prompt, your AI tools don't do what you want to do. And you end up iterating on details. It's really a pain. And so the concept that we implemented is something we call canvas as a prompt, meaning that you use your visual canvas as a way to get AI to understand what you want to do. To show you this in practice, this is like a rough wireframe of an app with some very ugly annotation. But now I can actually select this as a prompt and then let AI do the work for me. So just like before, we say, I want this to be a mobile app. And I will not give any prompt. I'll say, just do it. And because the AI can see my work, it can infer the meaning behind do it. I don't need to just spend an hour writing a prompt that accurately depict what I'm trying to achieve. And so you get to basically interact with AI and iterate with AI without the pain of actually having to come up with like, oh, how does this model want to get prompted versus this other one? We'll let that run a little bit, and then I'll show you something else. So do we have the internet and demo god with us today? Let's see, let's hang tight. And so the concept here is that this little purple stage is Las Vegas. Whatever happened on the purple stage, stay on the purple stage. And so it's only when I'm happy with the result that I can then add it to the canvas and then share it with my team to collaborate on. And so you've seen that we came from this very ugly drawing with some annotation to an actual polished mock-up that I can actually then use to build my final product. And the last thing I want to show you is the concept of sidekicks. Sidekicks are basically the way we create agents that are personalized. So I'll go here and create a new one. This is going to be my virtual critical co-founder. You are my startup co-founder, and you love to criticize my work because you always think you know better. This kind of like amazing person you want to work with. So I'll just create this. Oops, I need to give it a description. I can also upload files if I want this co-founder to know about, I don't know, blog posts I read online about my startup or anything like that. I'll hit create. And now I can basically ask my co-founder, my virtual co-founder, to criticize my work. So I'll just give it this interface here. What do you think? And so just like that, I can basically tailor an AI model, in this case, it's Claude 3.7, into a role that is really, important for me to work with. Let's see. Are you kidding me with this design? This is what you are going with? It's so predictable. Yeah, this is an amazing co-founder, right? Awesome. So let's just go back quickly to the presentation. We're running out of time. Our vision is basically that AI is not here to replace any of us. It's here to augment the work that we have as a team and enable you to do more and collaborate more effectively together. And so Silicon Valley is obsessed with this concept of like a billion-dollar company built by one person. I really would love to see this in Switzerland. And to illustrate this, I've created one more AI flow where I told it to just come up with a unicorn concept, put a cow, some dollar bills, and make it happen in Zurich. And check this out. This is the unicow, which hopefully is a concept we'll see in the press very soon. That's it. If you are a startup, you can get $1,000 of Miro credits if you want to use our platform to help you innovate faster. Thank you so much, folks.
Thank you. Okay, I have some questions from the audience, and if any of you have questions at the moment, the QR code is here, so feel free to do that and to submit. But first question, Tony, and I think this is something many of us think about, will AI automate my job to the point that I am no longer relevant?
I honestly don't think so. And if it does, we still have probably 20 years ahead of us. Like, the reason why I don't think so is that we are creating solutions for people. People create products for people. People are very messy, very noisy, and very hard to understand. And this is where I don't think AI will just take our jobs. We are going to be still the best way to understand human beings and translate it into tasks that an AI can then solve for us. So I guess we'll be an orchestrator of AI.
Okay. Something that came up for me personally, I was at Nestle the other day, and one of the people I was coaching said to me, Shannon, what do you think young people should study? I'm thinking about, my 20-year-old at home right now. With this explosion in AI, do you have any recommendations of what people should really upskill in or study or learn?
I'm very biased towards engineering because, even if AI take over and we have robots doing everything, you still need someone to to fix those robots, improve them, build better ones. And then anything that has to do with humans, as I said before, empathy. Again, empathy is even tricky for people sometimes, right? So I don't think machine will take that anytime soon.
Yeah.
So engineering plus empathy related work.
Another one here. How can we secure our ownership of AI solutions and avoid being pushed out of the market by big players?
Well, your strengths as a startup is velocity. Big players are slow because of the sheer size that they have. They have compliance, audit to do. They need to, they have a huge organization that takes mountain. And so, investors will always challenge you. What if Google does this tomorrow? Are they going to take you out of market? Google is not going to do this tomorrow. It's going to take them 5 years to compete with a startup. So velocity is your secret weapon as a founder that no big player can replicate.
Tony, we're at time. Thank you so much.
Thank
Let's
you so
give
much.
him a big round of applause.
Thank you.